Hey everybody, it's Larry Steinhouse, and this is the Larry Steinhouse Show. It's going on and all day. I'm having a blast here. I'm having some fun, and I've got some cool guests all day long, and my next guest is Gita Faust. Gita Faust is actually an investor and an accountant, and she's the owner of Fast Trac Consulting, which is a consulting and software firm that's located in the Philadelphia area, actually Richboro, and she's a member of the elite Intuit Trainer Writer Network, as well as a QuickBooks Solution Provider. So the real reason I wanted to have Gita on was because to talk about QuickBooks. So one of the things, as you know, I'm a real estate investor. We talk to real estate investors all the time. And the problem that we all have is how to maintain our books in our real estate ventures. It's crazy how difficult it is, or how easy it is and how difficult it is at the same time. So Gita, why don't you tell us a little bit about Quicken, how you became a Quicken expert? I'm sorry, QuickBooks, not Quicken, QuickBooks expert, and why everybody should be using this software.
Wow. So as an investor, of course, you guys go find a deal and you do an estimate. So it stops there for the investor. They don't take it to the next level and see what they estimated, and if whatever they spend was exactly the same amount that they estimated to make the profit.
That's funny you say that, because I see that all the time. And you're specifically talking about fix and flips. I mean, but there's so many other ways. But you're right. So people, they say that they're buying the property for $50,000. Mm-hmm. They're going to put $30,000 into it, and they're going to sell it for $120,000 for a $40,000 profit.
Right.
It never works out that way. I know that.
Right, because, and it's not only for flips, it's for rentals as well, because you need to cost segregate. And when you put an estimate together, you're already cost segregating your estimated budget, whether it's a rental or it's a flip or any kind of vacation rentals as well. So it could be residential, commercial, vacation, and there's no limit to do cost segregation, because even if you're a small investor, you can still cost segregate for your rentals.
So you have to tell me, when you say cost segregation, what do you mean by cost segregation?
So when you cost segregate, you can accelerate your depreciation for rentals. So you can accelerate your depreciation for rentals? What do you mean by
you mean I could take off more depreciation than I knew before?
Yes.
Wow.
Because there are 3 or 4 kinds of depreciation schedules: 5 years, 7 year, 15 year. So when you do and track your details accurately, whether you're replacing something which is already there for rentals and existing property, or you're bringing a new equipment in, or like an appliances, windows, doors, you need to keep track of it. You need to keep track of it in detail with the date of the purchase and whom you paid for, so you can get it depreciated. And if you go after a couple years down the road and replace it, you still need to keep track of it. So when you give your reports to your tax accountant and go for tax strategy advice, you have that handy. So you have to keep track of it in detail. There's no shortcuts like making a quick buck on buying and selling or holding a property.
So if I understand, and I guess using the example of a heater might be a good example in this case?
Yes, it would be.
So if I put a new heater in today, that heater has a separate depreciation schedule than my property. Is that correct?
That is correct.
So now, if I've owned the property for 7 years and I've depreciated part of the property already, I put a new heater in, how does the depreciation for the heater affect my taxes?
So I do not give tax advice, but
okay, fair enough.
And no tax strategies. I leave it to the pros. But we get you tax ready, like I said.
Okay.
So when we go and put it in there, your tax accountant will say, okay, you know what? When you purchased the property, you took a depreciation for, your heater cost $10,000, whatever depreciation you took, they record it back onto your profit and loss and then calculate the depreciation again on the new heater you purchased.
Gotcha.
So it's an accounting function that they do well, and strategize and take the best advantage after looking at your personal tax returns. It's not only about your LLCs or trust or S Corp or Inc. It is all about your personal income as well as your investments at the same time.
Gotcha. So here's a question for you. Why QuickBooks?
Why QuickBooks? It's a tool. Accounting is going to be there is universal, right? Debits and credits.
Sure.
Tax laws are different by countries.
Okay.
So QuickBooks is a tool. It's easy to use, and you can find
Wait. I just want you to repeat that one more time. Maybe it'll help me a little bit.
Okay.
Just say it's easy to use enough times that I'll stop banging my head against the wall trying to use it.
Okay. So we all are marketers, right? You guys understand that. Whether you buy an iPhone or you go buy a Dell computer, those companies are marketers. They are saying it's easy to use. Yes, it is easy to use for a layman person who wants to just record their expenses, not keep details like cost segregating, keeping track of your details, escrows, mortgages, private lending, construction loans, draws, and all those information go in place. So it's not about using an Excel sheet to keep track of it. Right? It is about keeping details behind the scenes. That it is. So, but if you learn the right way to use it, if you are using it, or farm it out, outsource it, right? Learn the right way for your specific industry, whether you are flipping, renting, you're managing rentals, you're doing wholesale, you're funding investors. Anyway, learn the right way and stop using 2 or 3 different softwares to get what you want.
So I've tried to use QuickBooks. I'm going to say probably close to a dozen times.
Okay.
And every time I try to use it, I get hung up somewhere until I finally just say, I'm done. I can't use it anymore. And it's usually something with a class where it asks me some question, or it won't record one of my transactions because it's asking me a question I don't fully understand the answer to, and I give up.
Right. Because you know how to make a deal. You know how to close a property. You know how to sell and buy, and at what price. Okay. Now you need to take that knowledge and apply it, change your mindset a little bit, and apply it towards using QuickBooks and to enter it right. It's the same thing what you're doing day in and day out. But what happens is you're missing a couple of the transactions. When you have construction loans, you draw $20,000 out of that construction loan, but actually you're not getting that $20,000 in your pocket. Okay? True. You're getting, they deduct inspection fees or other kind of fees, and then you get that money back. So you may be getting $19,525 back, but you're missing to record that additional funds that they deducted as expenses.
Right.
So you're holding costs
because you're paying money on the 20,000, not the money on the 19, whatever.
Right. So you're missing out on that expense, and you're considering that as a draw. So at any given point, when you say, "Oh, my loans are paid off on my books," but this guy is saying, this is not what we spend on. When you look at your reports, okay, I drew 20,000. Where did that 20,000 go? It's not on improvements. Definitely not 20,000. It's 19,525, whatever number I said before. Right. Do you see what I'm saying?
Right.
So your improvement numbers are not accurate.
Huh. Okay. So, all right. So now, all right. Somebody they just started buying their first property. They maybe are using QuickIn, or maybe they're doing the regular checkbook by hand, or whatever it is they're doing. At what point should they convert their life to QuickBooks?
The day they start their business and they think about investing in a property, because you have startup cost. The minute you think you want to start investing, you should first get an EIN number.
Of course, I actually agree with that. Yeah, it actually makes sense, sure.
And it is free. So you give your SS number only to the ones when you want to go buy a property or get a loan. Everybody else gets an EIN number. It's free from the IRS website. Now, any expense you incur in taking courses, attending network meetings, paying for a cup of coffee, or whatever instance is on that research, you need to account for each and every penny for that when you pay out, because that is an expense. Taking a cruise ship conference, that is an expense as well. But in the end, you can't say, okay, I'm going to have $75,000 worth of expense this year and don't have any properties. That does not go well. So your tax accountant strategist will be, and there is a difference between tax accountant and tax strategy person. Okay. You need to make sure you hire the right person for the right job.
So I know you're a QuickBooks expert. Would you call yourself a tax strategy expert also, or no?
No, I would not.
Okay.
We get you to a point. I could partially call myself a tax advisor, but I'm not 100% there.
I got you. Sure.
It needs,
and you need a license or a certificate? Is that what you're waiting for, or no?
No. We did practice. I'm an accountant, so I did do taxes for a couple years. And for me, it was about knowing where to save the money while making the deals, and clients coming to me every month to get the tax advice and strategize, which was not happening. So I did not feel that I was fulfilling what I had in mind. So my mindset was very clear. That is not helping my clients as I have them. So I decided to instead use QuickBooks as a tool to get their books ready for tax time.
Got it. Okay.
From bookkeeping to consulting, training, we do everything, clean up books. And that was our goal. And it was so much easier for us to fulfill that with our clients because the clients would say, oh, we went to file tax returns and our accountant praised our books.
Oh, that's fantastic.
That was, and they could go get a loan.
When I hand my accountant my books, he cries.
Right. Well, he must be crying because you made that much of money in there and saw the profits in there, maybe.
No, that too. But he's like, what a mess. I'm like, yeah, I know. So
Right.
so it's always a challenge for me. And, and honestly, one of the reasons that I contacted you was because to talk to me about my QuickBooks stuff.
Right.
But I also thought it would be a great thing for the show because everyone is like, wow, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do?
Right.
And the more and more I find out how valuable QuickBooks is, the more I say, maybe we should teach this and tell people about it. All right, so somebody gets started on QuickBooks, they get started, and like me, where I've been in business for a while, and all of a sudden I turn QuickBooks on. I'm finding that to be the most challenging thing I've ever done in my life, honestly, besides losing weight. Was to turn QuickBooks on in the middle of a business instead of at the beginning. Because I'll be honest, I have used QuickBooks in the beginning of a business before, and it was easier for me to navigate. I just had to do a little bit of cleanup now and then. But turning it on in the middle of a business, oh my goodness, it is insanity.
It is. And when we met, you yourself said that, Gita, I've learned so much in the 5-10 minutes that I was there with you than you have ever
That's
seen.
True. Yeah.
I mean, that says a lot, Larry.
Yeah.
I mean, you found value in those little minutes, and
you
we
wouldn't
did not
be here if I didn't think you were smart.
Thank you.
Because I can't put people on the show that First of all, if you don't know what you're talking about, remember both of our reputations are at stake if I put you on the show. So I knew you were smart. I know you know what you're doing. So that's why you're here. So understand. So I know you're smart, and you're right. If you do ask Gita to help you, she will definitely go through your books. She'll give you some great advice, and she will. She obviously can help you straighten out your books. What and mine are probably are mine the messiest you've ever seen, or you've seen worse?
I've seen worse. We are working with one of our clients right now. No names. He has 100 properties using QuickBooks Online.
I know who it is.
And
no, I'm only kidding.
No, you don't know him. And
I know who it is.
We work with everybody in U.S. as well as out of the country as well in getting their financials accurate. He has 100 properties, like I said. They do rentals and flips. And first of all, QuickBooks Online, everybody's on the hook. Hey, we want to go online, 24/7 access. How many times do you go when you are in the middle of the night or anywhere access QuickBooks Online, right? It's not every day. But
so I'm going to ask you about that real quick. So I have found, at least my little bit of knowledge of QuickBooks, is the QuickBooks desktop version is much better than the QuickBooks Online version. Is that correct?
I 100% agree.
Okay. So because I'm finding like this thing's missing on the online version, and it's harder to navigate on the online version. So I also agree with the desktop version. But can't you store the data file in the cloud and access it anywhere, anytime, anyway?
Yes, we can host it for you as well.
Okay.
So you can. Now, it's the name is QuickBooks, right? It's two different softwares, online and desktop versions, and they both have different functionalities.
Oh, really? Okay.
So both are good in its own way, but it's up to you. You got to decide how many EINs you have, right? If you have multiple EINs, you need to make it easy and efficient for you. Okay. So you need to have multiple QuickBooks files.
Right.
That means if you go with QuickBooks Online, you need to have multiple QuickBooks subscription. That means you're going to pay monthly on multiple subscription. So that's one thing, right? And if somebody says that I'm using QuickBooks or I want to use QuickBooks just because my accountant said so,
which happens to me all the time,
then you're in the wrong business and you're thinking it wrong. It should be for you getting to know what your equity is, what your asset is, liability is, down to the penny for each property and all business together.
So besides properties, I just want to know what my income and outflows are. I move so fast, and it's been a good couple of years, no doubt. I move so fast, I don't even know how much money I make until my accountant hands me my tax return, and I say, I made that much money?
But why wait for your accountant?
I understand, and that's part of why I want to use get this up and running, get it up and running right. Because I have no clue. I guess, and it was funny. One year I guessed $100,000 too low.
Right. Oh wow. Oh, we got to straighten that one out and revise your returns.
But the point is, I don't realize how much money I'm making because I really have no idea. It just moves so fast. I get a bill, I pay it. I get an income, I put it in the checkbook, I pay another bill. I don't even think about it.
So we need to teach you how to become a CFO and CEO of your own company rather than a person who does data entry or enter those transactions and figuring it out what you do. You got to do what you're good.
Give me a year or two and we're going to be able to afford a CFO and I don't have to worry about this anymore.
Well, you know what? There are fractional CFOs part-time that we can also offer.
Oh, that's interesting too. I didn't know that.
You don't need a full-time.
Wow.
But you got to be the CEO who can review your reports on a daily or weekly basis. Okay. And that's the only way you'll know what is your book value of your properties.
So what are all the things that you do in your business?
We do a lot.
All right, well, I mean we have about 3 minutes, so I'm trying to highlight it so that people can know how, number one, how to get a hold of you.
Right.
What you can do for them and how you can do that.
Okay, great. So we have two kinds of things we work with. DIYs, who wants to do their own bookkeepings. We have a course and courses for flips, for brokers, and for landlords.
Wait, so let me get this straight.
Managers.
You wrote these books?
Yes. And
wow,
each
that's
of
awesome. Those are pretty thick books.
They are, but most of them are images, so it takes you through.
Oh, it's a picture book. Good. I can handle picture books.
Yeah,
I can't handle anything.
Not too much writing because you just want to know what you know. You know how to run a business. Now we just want to relate it to QuickBooks and use it as a tool for your accounting purpose, right?
So I don't even know if I know how to run a business. I know how to make a business successful in spite of knowing how to run a business. I really believe that.
Well, we'll do all for you. You can do all at the same time. You just need to hire the right person to help you out in building the accounting, because accounting, financials does make you money. And it's a shame in the real estate industry, nobody talks about it.
Right. I totally agree.
That is not the course. It's like make money, make a good deal. Yeah, get a deal, but keep track of your money to the penny from the beginning. And all of our DIYers, whoever purchases our system, comes with a QuickBooks template file, which is already set up for you with chart of accounts and hundreds of reports. So you don't need to hire somebody to set it up for you.
All right. So if somebody gets QuickBooks for the first time, they're watching this, they say, all right, I'm going to go get QuickBooks. They get QuickBooks. They should, and let's say they're a real estate investor, if you could give me a quick hint, we got about a minute, a quick hint on how they can set it up without having too much trouble, what should they do?
Go to my website.
Okay. What is that website?
I'll take you to an easy one, realestateaccounting.com.
Oh, you got realestateaccounting.com?
Yes, we do.
Wow, that's great.
You go to the website, buy one of our courses if you're the DIYers. We have one for commercial, residential, and vacation rentals as well.
Wow.
And flippers, agents, brokers. With the guide, if you're the DIYs.
So is that like a $4,000 book? It's got a lot of pages.
Oh, definitely it is, because that's the value you get out of it.
I'm sure.
Right, and it is worth $300.
Okay.
Comes with a setup of QuickBooks file.
Okay, great.
The second part of it, if you're saying, no, you know what, I just want to go make a deal and I want to have more time doing that, then we can help you in bookkeeping or fixing or cleaning up your existing QuickBooks file and take you to the next level and get your tax ready.
All right, so if somebody wants to get a hold of you, besides the website, any other way that they can get a hold of you?
Yeah, Facebook, Gita Faust, LinkedIn, Gita Faust. It's all Gita Faust everywhere. Just Google
spell the
my
name,
name.
so people can find you.
Gita, F like Frank, Aust. And if you just Google QuickBooks Real Estate, you'll definitely find me in the first page.
Awesome. So wave goodbye to everybody, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Larry.
You got it.
Nice chatting.